What is going on, Whisper Nation? What's going on, Johnny?
What's up, buddy?
How you doing, man?
I'm good. It's like a late night talk show. Oh, I need it. Hold on. Alexa, lights on. Forgot to turn my lights on behind me. Oh, that does
Oh,
a
that
little
was
bit.
nice.
Yeah.
That was
I'll try.
nice. I like how you did that, man. Well, what's going on, Johnny? What's going on, Whisper Nation? Thanks for joining us here on Monday, April 25th, where we've got another draft coming your way. This time we're doing it a little bit differently. Scott coming in asking, are we doing a best ball or a mock? We're going to be doing just a best ball draft today. We normally do a sleeper draft followed by a underdog best ball, but we're going just with a best ball. I'm a little bit under the weather today, and Big Travie is out of office today. So we're switching it up a little bit, but I am really excited, Johnny, to be jumping into our $3 underdog best ball tournament coming up. Where are you dropping that link at, my friend?
I am going to be dropping it. I realized that I had joined a draft instead of
making a
creating.
private one?
Yeah, and so I'm over here like, how do I share the link? And I could not figure it out. And then I was like, oh, I
that makes
realized
sense.
that yeah, I didn't do that because
Well, we're getting our private draft room here set up. Do it 420 coming in. Hey guys, what's going on? Great to have you here with us. While Johnny is getting this one set up, we are very excited, of course, for the NFL draft, which is coming on Thursday, round 1, where we're going to be live streaming the picks as they come in, as we do. We'll have the gang from the Fantasy Whispers. We're also going to have some special guests joining the show. Excited to be getting Z coming on board.
Our guy.
For PFF, we've got Alex Strofe. You might know him from Late Night with Strofe, back-to-back appearances on the mock draft marathon. We're crushing that 12 p.m. to 12 a.m. to 4 a.m. block. He's going to be joining us as well for a little bit over there on Thursday. You can catch Strofe through ESPN Madison, also through a lot of the own content that he does. Hit us up. We can get you connected with Alex Strofe. He is amazing. But we're going to be doing that on Thursday. And so this best ball draft is going to be the last one that we do before we know where some of these highly touted rookies are actually going. Right, Johnny?
Yeah. And then this could look a whole lot different coming up on these next few drafts that we're going to have over the next couple of weeks. I'm excited to finally figure out where these guys are going. So then I know where to take them.
And I think everybody is pretty excited, and we're all trying to get ahead of it. And nobody really knows where anybody is going to end up landing. Even more so, we like to pretend we know what teams are looking to acquire. But, a lot of that is a little bit of best guesswork as well when you're looking at it. However, Johnny, you found some really great information here recently. Mentioned our boy Z from before. He had a tweet coming out talking about a little information that we're going to show the data table for you in just a second. But I'm blown away by this. So we've got what we have here is a snapshot of all of the different practices that NFL teams have had with prospects coming into the NFL draft. So here we've got some summarized options. Bucks, 9 running back visits. Ravens, Saints, and Cowboys, 6 running back visits. Giants and Commanders, 5 running back visits. These all kind of indicate these teams are looking at a running back. Does it mean they're going to take one? No. But are you probably going to take something that you've been looking at a lot of? Well,
I learned
certainly think so.
I learned from NFL Blitz, dude. Can't ever take when it looks like a running play every time. That's what they come out whenever you do the bomb, dude. Right. Whenever you select the bomb, you come out, the announcer, that's what they announce. So
wait, so you're saying you can't take these for certain?
You can't take them for certain. No, unfortunately. Well, but I do think it is very, very interesting seeing some of the. I mean, do the time. I mean,
aside from NFL Blitz, aside from that commentary aside, what do you think about some of these data reports that are coming? Before are we dropping in the link so that people can join in?
So I have shared the link in our Discord right now. I'm about to tweet it out. From our Twitter for TFW.
Okay. And are we able to also maybe drop it? You want me to drop it here in the
if you could drop it in the comments.
I want to get that there for Scott too. So I got that one covered.
Oh yeah, because Scott's only coming in from
let me make sure we get that so he's got a chance to jump in and join our underdog draft room. So I just dropped the link in the comments. Scott, you should be able to log on there and join our best ball draft here. We got 2 more spots available on this one, and we're going to go ahead and get our draft started as soon as the room fills up. But until that happens, I wanted to take a look at the report here that we have coming in. We've got a lot of interesting takeaways here from all of the different visits that skill positions in the NFL have had or coming in to the NFL. Different players have had visiting different teams here. So, I go to my Packers first off, and I look at who have they been.
Yeah, who you guys eyeing over here? You got a quarterback on there?
They did visit. One quarterback did visit, but it's in the red. So I feel better about that.
Who do you think it is?
I don't even care, dude. I mean,
holy cow. Cardinals bringing in four quarterbacks. What are we doing?
Ooh, that's an interesting takeaway. Before we get to my Packers here, what does that kind of tell you, Johnny?
We're looking for a backup, apparently. I expect I have heard some reports.
Are they looking for a backup the way that the Redskins were looking for a backup with RG3 when they drafted Kirk Cousins? Or just an actual backup?
An actual backup. I don't think it's that situation, but it could be, I guess.
I'm poking at you a little bit.
I was a little worried I wasn't in the beginning, but then I got a little worried for a hot second. But then the latest that's all coming out is that Kyler is expected to get a deal done either early this week or expected after which I was saying after the draft makes a lot of sense because then we know exactly what kind of cap space we have and what we need, so we can kind of do that. But everything is supposed to be where he's coming back, but it is a little surprising that they brought in 4. What does that mean?
That's kind of a lot here. And we
got
some new folks jumping into the stream. Welcome. We have one more spot available in our Underdog Best Ball tournament. It's going to be a live $3 tournament, $3 to join. The money that you win at the end of the season is real if it ends up being you. We're doing these every single Monday. I think this is like 7 or 8 of them that we're doing. I was looking at my Underdog list, and they're starting to stack up. It's pretty exciting. But if you want to jump in and join us in this Underdog Best Ball tourney, we've got one more spot available. And as soon as that spot gets filled up, we'll go ahead and get this one started. The links are in the comment section on YouTube here, as well as Twitter and Discord. Is that right, Johnny?
Yes, that is correct.
All right. So jump in there and we'll get this one started here in just a second, Whisper Nation. But looking back here at the list of spots here where teams are picking up, you asked me about my Packers, 7 wide receivers that they're interviewing. That's the second most behind the Chiefs. Man, what is the outlook for Mecole Hardman going to be, Johnny, next year?
I think it really is determined by who they end up drafting. If they bring in a guy that can, if they go in the first round and draft a wide receiver, that is not good news for Mecole. Especially with the people that they've also brought in, the wide receivers. You've also, you've got MBS, you've got Juju. And then again, I like that analogy that I kind of heard from a football player, and that, when these teams are going out, or just like when you go out and you purchase something, if you purchase something, you have an intent. It doesn't matter what the cost is. You have a place, even if you got to move something, you will do so. But if it's a later round, then it's like a gift from somebody else. And you're like, if I get to it, I'll get to it. I don't necessarily know where it's going to go. So I do think that it is interesting that they are bringing in so many. We'll see if they end up taking a guy high. They didn't really take Mecole was somewhat of a high draft pick in the second round. So, we'll see where they end up falling for wide receivers, and then that'll probably help dictate a little bit more on Mecole. But
yeah, to be honest, I'm bringing him up to the table just because I made a trade for him as a Tyreek Hill roster in our Dynasty League, and I thought it was clever to pick up Mecole Hardman, and it might end up proving wasteful, but we'll see. It would be awesome if he ends up being Patrick Mahomes' #1 wide receiver option. I don't know. We'll see. But I think it does also make sense in a somewhat weak draft class, it's being labeled, but there are some options there at wide receiver for the Chiefs to go out and take maybe one of those top level wide receivers at the end of the first round.
Yeah. Listen, we'd all love it. We're going to be streaming. We'll be freaking out about it. And we'll see if Andy Reid, after he didn't necessarily give the best advice the first time, let's see if he goes back to Pat Mahomes and says, hey, what wide receiver would you like here in the first if they're available? But we'll end up seeing. But.
And then I hope they say noted and then take the option they think is actually the best player. If you don't know what we're talking about, notoriously, the Chiefs had selected Clyde Edwards-Helaire above Jonathan Taylor a couple years back because they asked Patrick Mahomes who they wanted him to take in the draft, and they went ahead and said Clyde Edwards-Helaire. But Jonathan Taylor obviously is the better running back, and we'd hope that they would pick up the better wide receiver. Whisper Nation, we've got our underdog room right in here. We're just waiting on one more person to join our 6-person room. You get a chance to win some real money on this one, and would love to have you joining with us here. We just got one more. Johnny, is your underdog down to $1.19?
Oh, yeah. Well, I just had been...
Okay, just adding it a little bit there. I was
like, we've been playing. Well, I'll add more.
I've been getting my ass kicked on NBA betting. It's been it's so painful. Doing really good during NFL betting.
NFL betting is a lot easier for us than the NBA.
I guess
NBA is tricky.
NBA is tricky. I've been up and down and kind of all around on those picks, which has made it tough, but it's still been fun. Goddamn, Jose Alvarado busted my parlay yesterday. Had some parlays going out about the Suns and the Pelicans game. Over under 2.5 turnovers for Chris Paul. That's an easy under, I'd say. Nope, not with Jose Alvarado jumping in there. So, yeah, it's fun. We love our boys over there and girls at Underdog Fantasy. And we love you, Whisper Nation, too. We've got one more spot available here in our Underdog Best Ball tournament. We've got our links on Twitter and in Discord. I'll go ahead and drop that link one more time so we can get that last spot filled up.
Love it. Love it. Austin, I wanted to bring another thing that's going around on Twitter today.
Yeah.
Big thing. Scott Fishbowl. Scott Fishbowl invites are officially going out. We were privied enough to play last year in the Scott Fishbowl 11.
You want to tell listeners a little bit about what the Scott Fishbowl is? Because this is a big tournament around the industry with a lot of different professionals, a lot of different popular folks. It's a pretty interesting and unique tournament, right?
Yeah. So celebrities, they get some celebrities, they get analysts, fanalists, things like that. Last year there was like 2,000 people in this league, Austin, and then you're split up into a bunch of different divisions. You have like 12 team divisions. You just basically play within your division all year until you basically get to the playoffs, and then the playoffs. And then it's through certain matchups and everything. It all gets down to one winner of the whole thing. There's like 2,000, right? Yeah, there was like 2,000 entries last year that got selected out of like 12,000 entries. So we'll see. It'll be crazy to see how many entries get in this year. But what's great is the Scott Fishbowl is for charity. He does a charity, or this is his kind of like charity event. And the fantasy football community really, really loves and enjoys it. So there's like a lot of donating. They do Toys for Tots because that's his big thing. And so he ends up doing this big entire, like, there's no entry fee into the actual tournament. It's more of like, hey, do something for charity, donate for the Toys for Tots, or you could do some other kind of, and then other people will like donate their time for like developing logos and stuff. You'll start to see, people's Twitter pictures, profile pictures will start to go in like a cool design that's uniform, and then you're like, oh, all these people were in this club of the Scott Fishbowl this year. So yeah, waiting on
nice. So those invites end up getting sent like kind of starting now for a little while, and that's how the whole thing ends up getting going.
Yeah, so like he just sends out, I mean, it's just him doing it. So he sends out so many every week or every day or whatever, and then it'll slowly fill up. And I guess usually the draft is in July. It starts on like July 4th. But I think I read on somebody's that they had gotten an email, and I think he was changing the date this year. But yeah, last year it started on July 4th. and there were a lot of people that complained about it. But I thought it was kind of good because then you caught some people sleeping.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. Well, I wanted to come back. Hey, Whisper Nation, we are texted a friend downloading Underdog now. Nice, Scott. Love this. Make sure they use the promo code TFW to get their money matched up to $100, and they'll get $100 extra just for joining in and using that promo code TFW. Thank you very much, Scott. That is greatly appreciated. That'll be cool.
Then he can come back every week and play with us.
Yeah, that'll be fun. Oh, draft starts soon. It's
it's filling up. All right, let's go to that. Oh, there we go.
There we go.
Add to the screen. All right.
All right. And the man Death By Rona there is going to be leading us off. We're getting the draft started here in 47 seconds.
You won't.
All right.
All right. Oh, man, I got pick 6. That sucks. End of the draft.
Now, in a best ball tournament, where have you kind of been enjoying drafting? We're getting this thing started right now, coming in. Oh, it was Big Travie. Love you, brother, coming in there, even when he's got some things he's handling right now. Can't keep away. That's what love to see. It makes sense.
You wanted to win Scott's money.
There we go. All right. Well, where have you been enjoying picking? What players have you been looking at, Johnny, in these best balls? We've been doing a lot. What have your takeaways been so far? We are on the clock. King Henry is number 1 off the board.
That makes sense that he would be number 1. Or actually, there's a few that could be number 1. I took Cooper Kupp last week. I usually take Jonathan Taylor, though. That's been one of my bigger running back things or players that I've acquired at the running back position. But this is going to be different for me because I've never, I don't think I've ever picked at the 6th spot. So
I want to talk just a little bit about the upside of all these specific players. You know, I think that Derrick Henry is the 1-1 selection at the running back spot for me because his volume is really unparalleled if he gets the workload we expect him to get. And we talked a little bit before about the visits that NFL teams have been having from prospects. 0 running backs have visited Tennessee. 0 NFL prospects have visited Tennessee. I don't know if they're going to be taking a running back, Johnny.
Yeah, I mean, you would expect them to at least, unless they know exactly who their guy is, you would expect them to at least bring in 1 or 2 just to look at them. Because even in the deep, like running backs are going to go so deep, unless they're just like, hey, we'll just wait till an undrafted free agent comes, and then we'll look at them there at similar to what they did with Don. Wait,
how many running backs has
Denver
let me
looked check. At? Donta Foreman, really quick. Hold on. I'm going to check to see if Donta Foreman has been signed.
Did I mess up the presentation here?
No. What happened? Did you?
Is it cut? I'm not sure. It might be okay. Well, side point aside, on the Tennessee Titans picking their players.
You were trying to go with that other.
Yeah, one. I was trying to look at I was trying to take a look and see if I was trying to get some insights on who these NFL teams might be drafting as I was thinking about picking up Javonte Williams. And I was wondering if the Denver Broncos have been taking a look at any running backs of their own, as we presume Melvin Gordon will be with a new team next year.
Yeah, I'll bring that up. Boom.
I just wanted to see so Denver has been looking at 4 running backs. They brought a good amount. So at this on a Monday, April 25th, best ball draft, am I more or less encouraged drafting Javonte Williams this early, knowing they've had 4 running backs come and visit? I'm a little less encouraged, Johnny.
I mean, we talked about this a couple of weeks ago, right? Like we expect them to bring in somebody. I mean, that is good, but that's good news for redraft purposes because that'll bring down his value a little bit.
That's a good point.
And so you won't have to. That was the thing is like he was just it was creeping up a little bit too high for as far as like draft value. Like people were taking him in the first round, which like I understand because it was like, oh, he was the only running back there for, or at least still right as of right now. But I don't. I expect them to get somebody. Like I don't expect him.
Wait, where did Aaron Jones? I just took Aaron Jones.
Is it gonna do?
Where'd you go?
I've had that dude. It'll probably lock in as Aaron Jones. Hopefully it does that for you. Oh, you got Deebo.
Dude.
Yeah, that's that happened to me.
Fuck, Underdog. I don't.
That happened to me last week, and you guys made fun of me.
Oh man.
No. You were gonna get. Well, I mean, you're probably still land. You were going Aaron. Yeah, you're gonna still land him.
Well, I did not want teamless Deebo Samuel on my team. What did you think about that viral video going around of Deebo Samuel in the club? Looks like it's in San Francisco, or maybe it's in Las Vegas, with them holding up a sign that says Deebo is staying with the 49ers or something like that.
Dude.
And he's like,
nah, bro. He's like, nah. Dude, he's not staying. He's going. He's leaving.
I don't want to put too much weight into one image, but the way, like, they say don't enter a negotiation you're not willing to walk away from. He looked so done. Like,
bro, it was like he looked like it looked like a relationship that was like way over. And someone was just like, "Oh, your guys are getting back together, right?" And it was like you have one person, one of the partners is like, "Oh yeah, like we're doing it again, like we're good." The other one's like, "No, like we're done. Like we said no like so many times, and I'm out. Like
don't make me say it the way I mean it."
Yeah, like, seriously,
like it looked like one of those things of like, "Yo, my silence is polite. Don't make me say something."
It was so classic. How like kudos to whoever was like video recording that, and like the way that they were able to. It was just classic. Well done. It was
like so
by
perfect.
accident.
It was almost like they staged it.
Exactly. That's the thing. Is like I'm not even kidding you. When I first clicked on it to watch, because I'm like, why? The first thing that crossed my mind is why is somebody having that on their sign in a club? Like, why is that the thing? And second of all, and then when it like panned over to Deebo, my initial thought then went to, oh, is he like celebrating because he is staying? I was like, whoa, this is a big turn. Like, this is crazy. Another turn in this wild chase hunt of like, where's Deebo gonna go and like what's going on there? And then all of a sudden it was just like a perfect zoom in, and he just locks the eye contact. And you're just like,
and he looks like he's out, bro.
And then he's out. He even did the big eyes, like, nah, like
that's
not
one
even
of those situations.
Chance.
Yeah, it looks like one of those situations where it's like, look, it's money's always a factor, but this is not about the money. And there's a lot. There are 29 other teams that have money. So, or there's even more than that. There's 31 other teams that have money. This is the NFL with 32 teams. There are other teams with money. There are other squads looking to take a gamble on last season's elite production. And I don't know what was said. I don't know what happened, but it really seems like there is something impacting Deebo Samuel's decision-making outside of money.
Bro, I almost think it's like, I almost wonder if they tried to make the argument to him, or like when he was like, hey, I want also running back money in here involved in this, and or whatever. And it's almost as if they came back and they were like, bro, you realize like our system is what made you this great, made you this great wide receiver. And now he's just so set in his ways to being like, I'm going to prove you, like, it's not just this, like, I want out of here. Cause like, one, you don't value me. And two, now you're just saying that you guys are the only reason, not that I'm an actual talented wide receiver that you can't replace, So yeah, I guess they're saying the Jets are. The
Jets are thirsty, bro. Like I know they haven't been able to dip their tongue in the pool of satisfaction yet, but they're going for it. Be it Tyreek Hill, You heard DK Metcalf
Oh, it's
rumors.
messed up.
Now they're connected to Deebo Samuel. It's like, why would we continue to hear the Jets name, which we never hear, unless they were actually trying to make something happen?
Well, that's the thing is like they have the picks to do so, but they've also been, they've been the runner up. They've been the bride or the bridesmaid in all of these wide receiver negotiation deals that you almost, and the thing is, well, one, you would understand why Deebo would want to go to the Jets because it's the same system or very similar system, right? Same coaching tree. You think
he'd want to go there even though it's the Jets and they're probably going to be bad again?
Well, it's because you have to, again, the Jets would be willing to pay him. A lot of teams might not be willing to pay him. And the Jets have the cap space as well to really pay him what he's wanting.
Am I going too far on that? Are the Jets actually poised for a surprise this year? Like, I know that would mean Zach Wilson taking a step up. But do the Jets have any chance of being anything this year? Their defense isn't horrible.
No.
They've got decent options at wide receiver. Honestly.
They could, but again, it's the Jets. So it's like, they could. They have potential. They have a lot of pieces and talent. Obviously, they've been picking high in the draft over the last few years. So they definitely have some talented players. Now, can they actually put those together and actually win? They're the Jets, but let's hope. They do. Yeah.
It's a new situation all the time, but it's also not, right? Like the same people that have been calling the shots are the same people that are calling the shots. And what if we just take a merit-based evaluation, are we really giving flowers to the Jets? Of course not.
No.
It's the Jets. So
but I wouldn't be surprised if they actually were good this year. Like I trust in the system.
Yeah.
But do I necessarily trust in those executing that system? Maybe not. Let
me ask you about some of these other pieces. There's so many good players here to talk about, and I'm excited to do so. But if Deebo is out, let's pretend that's a done fact here. What do you think about my pick here, George Kittle? What do you think about Brandon Ayuk? What do you think about Elijah Mitchell? Maybe some of the other players in San Francisco. Do they take a bump, or is it not really that impactful? What do you think right now?
I certainly think that then Trey Sermon would becomes, someone again that a lot of people might not be mentioning right now.
Mm-hmm.
He does seem a little intriguing to me because, hold on, let's see if I can get okay. Because if you don't have that bruiser, and that was kind of what Deebo was being, right? Like Elijah Mitchell should be pretty similar to what he was last year. Do I go Cam Akers or Terry McLaurin? I think Akers has a higher ceiling, right?
Take him. We go and seal him, baby. Cam Akers.
Yeah, we go best ball. We go ceiling.
Cam Akers, no fakers. Let's go.
So Trey Sermon is not ideal for that system because he isn't as quick. They like, one cut, quick goes, like little thought process in there. You also need a quick burst, and Trey Sermon doesn't necessarily have that. But he is big. He's a bruiser. He could definitely do very similar carrying the ball wise as Deebo as far as being that thunder kind of runner, right?
Yeah, you're kind of right? I think you're onto something with that. They're going to need to have a multi-back system. It's just how they do it.
Right.
And Deebo, Sermon's not going to be Deebo, but you might be able to still take the abuse the defense was throwing his way or trying to throw his way and direct it at Sermon instead.
Mm-hmm. And then also like the Sky from the wide receiver that's in the draft.
Mm-hmm.
He's climbing up draft boards, but the thing is he carries the ball like a running back. He's a yak monster. I'm telling you, like 40, it sounds like the 49ers all over it. Like he has 49ers written all over, especially if they get it because so the 49ers, it's being reported they want a first, a second, a fourth this year, and then picks as well next year in the next year's draft for Deebo. And so if that happens, they're going to get they'll get a second rounder. I would almost bet that they would get that wide receiver and then use him as their new Deebo or in that
makes
role.
sense. And I'm really interested to see the way that the NFL continues to evolve with these, I don't want to say positionless players, but multi-position, multi-skill set type of athletes that end up becoming weapons and real weapons, not the way that we like to refer to the hyphen in Arizona back in the day as a weapon. Who was that? The law firm?
Oh, Ben
Do It
Jarvis,
420.
Green Ellis.
Yes.
Yeah.
Do It 420 coming in here saying Adam Gase has tainted the franchise. Sure hope his shadow and skid marks dissipate soon.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's probably a reflection on the Jets' overall judgment hiring Adam Gase. I don't know if Adam Gase is the one that ruined it or it was just a match made between.
No,
Gase
it
and
was
Jets.
Peyton Manning that ruined it for like.
Why? What?
Peyton Manning was the one that vouched for Adam Gase to get him that job. That's why he was able to land that job, was because they were unsure about him. They liked him, but then Peyton called the GM and was like, hey, no, like he's a good offensive minded guy. Like I've worked, because he was the GM, or he was the offensive coordinator with Peyton, but Peyton just called his own shots, dude. And like, clearly Gase didn't really have that much to do with it, because Gase was an awful play caller, he's an awful head coach, and hopefully he never gets another chance again. That's what we hope in fantasy.
I'm so impressed with Adam Gase's resiliency. Like, it's not easy to show up to work every day and have everyone throw shit on you at every turn possible. Your own players, your own coaches, the owner, your hometown. And this guy shows up every day and does not disappoint unless you were hoping for him to not disappoint, and then he disappointed. But if you showed up expecting for him to disappoint, man, he did that for you every time, without fail. And that's hard to do, man. That type of consistency.
So if you,
in this economy,
what happens if you, here's a big question. What happens if you, it's like, what, like and I wouldn't be surprised knowing the stories that are coming out now about these NFL majority owners, paying their coaches to lose.
Oh my God. Probably
now, if he was losing purposefully to be paid like that, does that actually constitute as a win? Does he become then a good coach?
Maybe in the inner circle, on like these bunch of these like corrupt people just trying to paint the world in however they feel like.
Right? It's like,
it definitely does say something overall about somebody's ability as a tactician when you boil it all the way down. Like somebody who's like cheating at a criminal level and is able to like make the fans happy, the owner happy, pass it by the league standards. I mean, that's not easy to do. Brian Flores got kind of close. Hugh Jackson less close. Love Hugh Jackson. Thank you so much for being on the show. You gave me some of the greatest insights I've ever pulled in from talking to anyone about football, legitimately. But like, homie, you know what your head coaching and record in the NFL was. We've all seen it, and then we all know too about the supposed
because the Browns, the Browns were giving him a little bit of extra bonus money.
The off the books bonuses.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude,
I'll be honest. Like I think it probably happens way more than we think it does.
Dude, this is the time it's been caught.
That could be honestly one of the biggest secrets that is being held.
They're going to start having more discussions on ways to handle this NFL draft. And just like they're doing across the league. And I'm going to tell you what, dude, I don't even knock these owners for not holding sportsmanship to the highest degree when it's a for-profit league, for-profit teams. Like, it's all built on integrity. Like, that's at the core and why it needs to be maintained. But that's not what the owners are really in it for. And so to them to try to skirt the edges and do like, this bullshit that they're pulling, it makes total sense to me, as does drafting AJ. Okay, I like that. Oh, fuck.
Oh, damn it.
Well, you could still get James Conner.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay, sweet.
That
that works.
Dude, James Conner right here.
Dude.
Next subject on this one. James Conner, dude, how is this guy along with Leonard Fournette going this far down draft boards? Like, are you taking Travis? No knocking you here, bro, Cal, but maybe a little bit. Are you taking Travis Etienne ahead of James Conner?
No.
Right? Like, why are you?
I'm not taking Travis Etienne. I'm not taking Michael Carter. I'm not taking. Yeah, no, those two actually.
Like, I get the Michael Carter appeal.
I'll be honest. I'm not even taking Breece Hall.
No, above
like
James Conner?
I wouldn't even take. Yeah. I'll be honest. I wouldn't take J.K. Dobbins. I wouldn't take Josh Jacobs. Maybe not even in even a best ball league. In a best ball league, it makes way more sense that James Conner's ADP should be way higher. Now, again, I will say I do expect the Cardinals to draft running back. Oh, that would be interesting to see how many running backs the Cardinals brought in. Cliff Kingsbury hinted at the fact that they'll be somewhat looking at in that direction at the draft, depending on, that makes sense. He did also give some confidence to Eno Benjamin, which they took in a couple years back. Again, he is just a 7th round draft pick, so you can't really put a lot of weight in there.
I'm feeling Hugh Jackson's comments about coach speak. Often, it's always serving an ulterior motive. And if I'm listening to Cliff gas up Eno Benjamin, that's just because right now he's my number 2 and I haven't yet picked up another number 2. And he might be my number 2, so I want him to be confident coming in. But are you confident in Eno Benjamin?
No, I'm not confident in Eno Benjamin.
Your gut's pretty good on these. I'm going to give you a shout out, Johnny. Your gut on these ones, like on these types of players, usually pretty good. Like from whatever you do to research going into this, like these later round picks, I think you usually shed a pretty fair light on them. And we get how an Eno Benjamin, based on opportunity and a high offensive system, could do good work fantasy wise. But like you do a really nice job, Johnny, of like looking at how players play football and basing a lot of it on that. I wanted to ask you, based on this, I'm considering taking Kenneth Walker here.
Yeah.
What did you think about him watching the film? Because I thought he looked like the best. I thought he looked like exciting.
I do think he looks very exciting from a running back prospect standpoint.
Yeah.
I am very concerned with where he could potentially land and then how they would use him.
Can you speak more on that? Like where would be concerning?
So, for example, I do think, nice pick with the Jerry Jeudy. Damn.
Thank you. How is he available this late, right?
Dude, I'm telling you, there are a couple of guys that are just mad steals right now. And like, you could get them now and it's great. And but in a couple of weeks or months, that's not going to happen, which is unfortunate. But yeah, Jerry Jeudy is one of those. James Conner is another one that we were talking about.
Leonard Fournette. Until they get another running back in Tampa Bay, I want to throw Leonard Fournette out there.
Yeah, Leonard Fournette as well. I think a part of it is like there's still a little bit of shakeup and concern with like, hey, what are the actual players that these guys are going to also draft? Like I guess that would be my thought as to why their ADP is where it's at right now, because one, people aren't exactly caught up with all the NFL news, and even though I don't know, the James Conner one really baffles me. I won't lie, that one just truly baffles me. But as I was saying,
everywhere.
I know, that's what I'm saying. It's like I don't understand.
And now he's got a bigger role coming in this year. And if injury concerns are what are dissuading you, I get that. Outside of injury concerns, what do you knock James Conner on?
Well, and that was the thing. It was like last year you could point to, okay, maybe the injury concern, you could, like I would point to the fact that they didn't really pay him that much to bring him in. There was the uncertainty, they were also confident in Chase, right? And they were like really vocal about that one. And so the combination of the uncertainty, it made sense why James Conner value was so late in drafts. But the fact that like all that is gone now, because you've got him signing a relatively strong contract, a 2-year one, $12.5 million. That's up there. When we're talking about per year for running backs, it's up there. And then you also, you've got Chase out the door. Chase is in Miami now. And then again,
Benjamin, we already talked about him.
And they could end up drafting a running back, but they I don't project them drafting like a Breece Hall or Kenneth Walker. I don't think they'll do that, but I do think that those guys would look good in this system. They would fit, but so would a lot of guys. But back to what you were asking me about Walker originally, I just have concerns because it was wild watching him on tape because he's bigger in person, like he's an actual bigger person than he plays and he looks on tape. And so my concern is that he's going to go to a team maybe like the Cardinals, right, where hey, he's got these talents, he's really good, he's flashy, he could do a lot of things, but we've already got this goal line guy, we've already got like this guy who's like our main guy. You're going to be the secondary guy for right now because we want to preserve you for a while. Or as best that we can, because we also have another option right now.
I want to while we're sitting here talking and you're making your rounds 15 and 16 picks out of our 20 round best ball draft here, I wanted to bring up to Whisper Nation this thought I've been playing around with when it comes to the draft, which we have round 1 happening on Thursday, and we are going to be live streaming the draft on Thursday, bringing on some special guests. It's going to be really exciting. So make sure you are liked and subscribed to catch that action on Thursday. But I wanted to bring this point up, dude. And this was like,
this is a reach.
Russell Gage. Oh, I like to see him. He's on my dynasty.
It's a reach, but I'm really coming around on him in best balls.
I hear that. I feel that. Dude, I've taken so much Dawson Knox in best balls.
There's a lot of tight ends that I like at late round tight ends that I really like. That's probably the route that I'm more so going to go.
I like these Dawson Knoxes. I like these Zach Ertzes. I even like these Hunter Henrys.
I love Zach Ertz.
Logan Thomas, I don't hate.
I think Logan Thomas is one of those guys that's going to be a waiver wire guy because people forget that 2 years ago he was a top 5 tight end. He was hurt all last year, and now they got guess who? Carson Wentz, who loves to throw to
loves his tight end.
And then guess what? On top of that, even a cherry on top of even that, Terry McLaurin's probably going to be gone. So it's going to be like, it's going to be like, rookie wide receivers or / second year wide receivers, Gibson or Logan Thomas.
Like, you bring up an interesting point there. I want to sit with Washington here for a moment. Let's pretend that happens. Terry McLaurin is gone to my Packers. We'll see.
That I would love that, dude.
It'd be a nice fit, right? That really just makes a lot of sense from a lot of.
I'd be so excited, mostly because then, all the Terry McLaurin haters would have absolutely nothing to say because,
or they would have a parade to throw if it didn't work there. We would get to know, and I'm with you. I'm with you. I'm with you.
But I'm more so on the ladder of that than.
4 out of the 5 games last year where he had 5 catches or more, he broke 100 yards. All the dude needs to do is get 5 catches, and he's got you 100 yards. Get him 5 catches, Tyler Heineke. Get him 5 catches, Ryan Fitzpatrick. Get him 5 catches, Carson Wentz. We'll see. But this is with them. Let's pretend he's gone. What about Curtis Samuel?
Yeah, Curtis
groin injury out all last year. Curtis Samuel was kind of under the radar playing for Carolina, who was always a good player, a bit of a gadget player, but a legit wide receiver, not like a gadget player because he's not good enough to be a wide receiver, a gadget player because he's good enough to be a gadget player on top of being a wide receiver. He had a groin injury that kept him out all of last season for the most part. I imagine he's coming in healthy. This is an option and if Terry McLaurin's gone, what do you think about that? What do you also think about we already talked about Logan Thomas. He's kind of nice, but does Curtis Samuel deserve any extra attention? Because we're not talking about him at all. That's the first time we've said his name all season.
Yeah, I mean, I was never I wasn't on the bandwagon for Curtis Samuel last year. Again, could he end up being somewhat of a sneaky late? I just think you're gonna end up if you're gonna pick him up at all, it'd be on waivers.
Okay.
And so I'm not really trying to draft that. I guess if you're asking for best ball, yeah, there's some upside there because they use him in kind of weird ways sometimes. And at least in Carolina, when he really was able to take off, that was how they did it. And so if you're talking about best ball, you could see, but again, You mean this guy, Garrett Wilson, who you picked up? Like, I think his upside is greater than a guy like Curtis Samuel, no matter where he goes. Like, he could go to Washington, and I would still be like, oh, I have more. Like, I just think there's more upside to Garrett Wilson than there is Samuel. So I
wanted to run this point here by Whisper Nation, and that's with the draft coming up. If you're a top team drafting at the back of the first, then you're a Kansas City, a Buffalo, a Green Bay, a Los Angeles. If you had your picks, any of these, let's not actually include Los Angeles because they've loaded up on their skill players. But we're looking at our Buffaloes, we're looking at our Green Bay Packers, we're looking at our Cincinnati Bengals, we're looking at our Kansas City Chiefs. These squads, if you're sitting there at the back of the first, and you've got a chance to take one of the top tier skill players at the running back or the wide receiver position. Like, let's go ahead and say that Breece Hall is on the board. Generally consider, we like Kenneth Walker too, but let's say Breece Hall is your number one. You believe in him, you like him, and he's available there at the end of the first round. And you're the Kansas City Chiefs or you're the Buffalo Bills. Why do you not take that player? It reminds me when we're drafting in redraft leagues, Johnny, and we talk about when others zig, you should zag. So if all of the tiers of running backs are gone and you've got the number one overall leading the tier wide receiver, like it might more sense to separate your squad and go for that and try to pick up some gambles at running back further down the way. If you're the Chiefs or the Bills and you got a chance to grab Breece Hall, maybe you wanted to get a lineman. Maybe you wanted to get a pass rusher. Maybe you wanted to get a corner, whatever. So a more responsible pick, if you will. But you got a chance to get the number one tiered skill player at that spot. Why don't you grab that guy and then take your gambles for that lineman, that pass rusher, that cornerback further down the draft? What do you think?
That's what Kansas City did, or not Kansas City, but that's what Cincinnati Bengals did last year, right? With Jamar Chase.
Yes.
And even though that was a pretty solid draft class as well, but they were still like,
you've got T. Higgins, you've got Tyler Boyd, you need a lineman.
Yeah, but then they were like, yo, we'll actually just grab our lineman in the next round or in the next couple rounds, and then we're going to get the number one tiered guy here.
And even if the line didn't work out, which you could argue it didn't because of how many times Joe Burrow was sacked last year, the line didn't look awesome. Team is still playing for a Super Bowl, right? And a lot of that had to do with who? Jamar Chase, who helped them win games to get there and then had plays in the playoffs as well. These are high impact players. Like, I'm not saying a lineman or an edge rusher is not, but the amount of times one of these skill players, we got to come up with a better term than skill players, but anytime like one of these possession players is available, I'm almost like, you got to take them if you've got any smarts to you at all, because these guys had an actual chance to make an impact. Like, is your right guard for Buffalo really going to make that much of a difference versus a running back who can take it to the house? Like, there's a bigger margin for impact on these players, and you might have the best of them available. I don't know if I'm the Packers and you can take yourself a top level wide receiver. I think they should do it.
Yeah, I mean,
next to the other teams.
Yeah, exactly.
Not that drafting a lineman or a linebacker is boring, but it is. If we're talking, we got a bunch of fantasy fans here. It's boring.
Should I go with my guy, Isaiah? I'll go with Kenneth Walker here.
Oh, you didn't go with your boy?
I should have went with another quarterback. That's where my mistake was.
Oh, so let's
I
see.
only
I
have
got
two.
I got my last pick here. I've got 3 quarterbacks, 6 running backs, 8 wide receivers, and 2 tight ends. I got to move quick. I don't see anybody on the wide receiver list I love. Nor here. I kind of like the tight end route on this one. I'm going to go with Robert Tonyan, who, if the Packers don't pick up a wide receiver, they're not good. Tonyan might have a bit of a revival.
Yeah. Post-hype sleeper? Or, yeah.
Post-hype sleeper. Ooh, yeah. It's after his hype. He already kind of squandered his hype. It's over.
Yeah, you did.
There you go. But it's coming in there. All right. So the last pick is on the board. Death by Rona. Who's it going to be? Oh, never mind. Big Travie. Who's your second to last pick going to be? And then Death by Rona. Who is the last pick going to be? Johnny, while they're picking, was there any guys on here that you looked at that you wish you had one more pick to pick up?
One more pick to pick up? Yeah, quarterback. I wish I would have been able to get any, like Tua would have been a good one. Jameis is a good one. Even Jared Goff. Hold on, let me fix this here.
So we're looking at the summary here, and I get a chance to preview them up. Boom.
Boom.
We've got coming in first projections. Drew K. Lou wins the projection game, which means nothing except for good job, which is nice. Good job, Drew K. Lou. 4,800, 43.2 points projected. That's always fun. And coming in at the lowest projected points is Big Travie, 3,705 for Big Travie on this one. So we'll see.
Pretty close race there. Joe Burrow, Pat Mahomes, Trey Lance, Dobbins.
I like all these players Travie drafted here. A lot of wide receivers. I don't know if I like the Rashad Bateman and the Drake London pickups. Could have gone with an extra tight end, perhaps.
Yeah, he probably needed like one more tight end probably there. But
Scott killed it. He said, let's take a closer look at Death by Rona's team.
Yeah, we'll see what.
I like the upside plays at quarterback.
Yeah, okay.
Derrick Henry.
He did get Winston. I was just mentioning Winston there.
It's a good upside pick.
Derrick Henry, Jamal.
I like those running backs too.
Good running backs there. Wide receivers, Deontay. These are good PPR guys. Good guys.
He's got good.
All right.
Like
good
no studs at the wide receiver position, but I like a lot of the upside these guys bring here. Even start at the bottom. Michael Gallup should be the number 2 for Dak, which has traditionally been a nice role. Rondale Moore, we like what he brings to the table in terms of an explosive package. Adam Thielen, fine. Brandon Ayuk, if Debo's out, that could be nice. Post-type sleeper again, if you will.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty good, yeah. And then you got double dips in there with Dallas, with Dalton, Gallup. Pretty good. Scott did a good job.
I think everybody here did a good job, man. It was fun to draft with you, Whisper Nation. It always is. We're going to be doing this every single freaking Monday. All the time because we love it so much. And the best way to make sure you are a part of the action is go ahead and just hit that subscribe button if you want to be a part of it. And do us a favor, hit the thumbs up button on this video itself. Works with the algorithm, helps it get out there, and we can connect with more fantasy loving fans, which is what we love to do so much. If you're liked and subscribed, you'll be getting notifications then for the Thursday live reaction show to the NFL Draft Round 1. We're going to be bringing on some special guests and going round by round with you as they come on in. Johnny, is there anything you'd like to share with Whisper Nation before we call it an afternoon?
Nope. Just excited for Thursday. It's going to be a blast. Get your popcorn ready. Get your snacks. Join us. It's going to be a good night.
Do it 420. Scott, everybody else who jumped in there, everybody who drafted alongside us in Underdog, thank you. It's been an awesome time with y'all. We'll see you again soon. I'm Austin Sear. That's Johnny Game Time Hicks for the Fantasy Whispers. We're out.
Peace.
Right here.
Best part about mock drafting is we get to do them again next week, and we've done them a whole bunch of weeks before then. Check out one of the